Moving on to the lingering fuel scarcity situation, there are fears that some petrol stations in Lagos may be selling above the approved pump price, even as the effects of fuel scarcity in the country bite harder. Our correspondent Abibola Gbebi visited some stations in the state, and she gives us this update. Right. Now, Abimbola, it's good to have you join me now. What update do you have on the fuel scarcity in the state this morning? What's the situation like?
Yes, Mike. Findings made from most of the fuel stations we visited this morning showed that the lingering queues, at most of these fuel stations have reduced, unlike the situation we had on our hands last week, talking about the hardships residents of the state have had to grapple with in past weeks. Also, the traffic situation occasioned by this fuel scarcity is slowly disappearing, or should I say has fully disappeared from the road. As you can see behind me, right here is a fuel station. I'm sure you can see there is no queue at the moment. And well, that is not to say that the product is available, Mike. A statement recently released by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources had the federal government acknowledging and admitting that the fuel scarcity was not due to lack of supply of the product, but was attributed to an inspection failure, which of course allowed the adulterated products into the country. So as we speak, what I can tell you is the lingering queues we recorded in past weeks have reduced. Of course, people have been coming in to buy the products, but then we cannot but talk about the effect of the fuel scarcity, talking about in terms of hike in transportation fare. Earlier, I spoke to some residents who were lamenting the hike in transportation fare. Also, prices of some commodities in the market are also high. Of course, those were feelers I got from some residents earlier today. So we cannot separate the fact or leave the fact that the hardship is still being felt, by some residents of the state. But then we can say there is some kind of relief in terms of availability of the product. We cannot ascertain if the product is available, but then the long queues have disappeared. And of course, the federal government have assured residents that normalcy will return soon. But then while we wait, we do hope that this hardship residents of the state are still complaining about will go down. But as we speak, the long queues have gone down. People have been moving in to buy fuel, and then of course traffic is moving freely, unlike what we had on our hands.
Abimbola, is a good thing. It's a good thing that the queues are going down. But talk to us. We got some reports from some parts of the state that some filling stations are selling above the pump price. What is your finding in this regard?
Yes, Mike, those were complaints we had from some residents earlier today. Of course, I visited a few stations earlier and I tried to ask how much they are selling the product. Of course, we cannot but talk about the fact that some fuel stations, about 2-3 of the fuel stations I visited this morning, are selling a little bit above the approved pump price. But at some other places, we can't say that they are selling at the normal price. But at most of the fuel stations I visited, they are selling above the approved pump price, Mike.
All right. We hear there were some black market sale in parts of the city, but from where you have been, did you notice anything like that?
I think, Mike, the good thing about this is when we try to juxtapose the situation we have at the moment with what we've experienced in past weeks, we can clearly say that there is some kind of improvement, unlike what we experienced in past weeks. Last week, Mike, 2 weeks ago, you will agree with me that the entire road, we had this long traffic, and of course, those guys selling the black market are all over the place. But for the places I've visited this morning, I'm yet to cite one. At the places I've visited. Behind me, you can see it's more like there's no activity going on. But then people have been moving in to buy fuel at this particular fuel station. So I would say it's some kind of improvement compared to what we had on our hands in past weeks. I have not been able to cite any of those guys around, Mike.
Okay. Abimbola Gbebi, thank you very much for bringing us up to speed on this. Thank you.